Okay, where to begin? Um, as you can see, this is about the Anime Expo, and basically, I don't, I'll get into a whole bunch of stuff and show you the kinds of things that I saw there, but right now, I just want to get into like the first day of the Anime Expo, which was for me absolutely awful because I'm standing in line just wanting to get my badge, and the schedule for the expo wasn't all that great for the first day. But you're there to get your badge so that the next day you can just show up. You don't have to stand in line or anything like that. You just gonna walk in, right? But that didn't happen. Nothing went as planned. We've been in line for like over an hour, and just like that, someone moves ahead of quite a few people and puts up an end of line sign. That was like the worst because that person, as far as I know, wasn't even there. They just moved up ahead and it said this is the end of the line. So if you're behind this person, you're not getting your badge. And at that point, you're like, wait a minute, you've already been in the line on time, standing there over an hour, and now you're gonna say, oh, you can't get your badge. And that's very frustrating and disappointing because not everyone can be there in the morning, like, or anything like that. But it's not like anyone came late, because apparently they closed the registry or whatever, or people who want to get badges like I was, like at 6 p.m. or something. But we were in line at like 4 something, so you're already in that line for quite some time, and then they just pop up an end of line in front of you and don't let you get your badge. So you're gonna be upset because you if you paid for 4 days, then you expect to get in, you know, especially if you came there and you already paid. It's not like you're going there to pay. You're going there because you already paid and you just want your badge. So that frustrated a lot of people besides myself. And once that line had finished, towards the end of the line person, they were like, oh, it's closed, you can't do this anymore. And it ended up being like a big protest of all the people that didn't get in. It was like a big protest, which probably lasted another hour just protesting. And I stayed there the whole time because I was just like, this is so bad. Like, you can't, you got to come up with a better way to handle this situation, because you can't have people pay to get into the Anime Expo and then, not even, not even be able to let them in. So it's like, you gonna refund that lost day? No. So it's like, you got to come up with something. Otherwise you're not gonna get people to come back. Anyway, they made us go to information and services, and they gave maybe like 5 people their badge, and then said no yet again. And it's like, wait a minute, you moved the whole line to inside to information and services just to give 5 people a badge, and then that's it. So yet again, we're just sitting there like, what is this? I mean, you must have been standing there for like another hour or two. It had to be like 2 hours or something. But they came up with this new idea to give us a red ticket, which will allow us to just walk in and go get our badges and not have to wait in line. So that was basically the compromise. but you still don't get to go in that day, so you have to go home. So that was the unfortunate part. But anyway, let's get into the things that I saw at the Anime Expo.
At the top of the roof, with everybody out here at the top.
And so this is, as you see, the roof. And if you saw my last expo video, then you saw that we weren't all the way at the roof, you know. So you can see how big it was, that there was no parking space anywhere but on the roof. So it was that huge, and like it was just that many people when we arrived. But imagine our surprise when we got to the bottom. And this is what awaited us. Besides the burning heat, this is what we had to look forward to. The big long line. And there was nothing we can do but to wait. And wait we did. And as I explained in the beginning of this video, they wouldn't let us in ultimately, and there was one guy who just pretty much basically like made everyone like sort of like rebel and forced like the Anime Expo staff to like negotiate some way to solve this problem, instead of just cutting people off in the line and just saying, oh, that's it, go home, when you've already paid. You know, not only did people pay for 4 days, but you pay $15 just to park, and for what? Just to stand in line, and then you gotta go home, you know. So yeah. And ultimately, as I explained earlier, they moved us in, but still, we at the end of the day, we still weren't able to, you know, to enjoy the Anime Expo that day. So we had to pretty much show up the next day with the red ticket, as I explained. And then we got our badges, and I'll show you what happened next. So, you know, as you can see, we came in, and one thing I want to mention about the Anime Expo is that for people who are pretty much on top of anime, like you saw, like you're like on top of things when it comes to anime, like you're watching the summer season of anime like right now. You've seen everything before. So for those type of people, when you show up to Anime Expo, you're gonna already have seen just about everything in there. So for those who are not like on top of every anime that's, you know, coming out, they have a lot of episode 1 through 3s of a bunch of anime, and you can't really expect the Anime Expo to have like the newest thing, like the newest anime, like right there. You know, they're usually like 2 seasons back, and they're usually like in line with whatever, you know, anime is dubbed or is being dubbed or something like that. But a lot of the stuff there, for the people that like on top of things, like I said, you probably have like a short schedule because most of the things that you want to see is very slim. So for the second day, for example, the only thing most people wanted to see was probably the Tiger and Bunny premiere. You might have wanted to see that, and most importantly, you wanted to see SAO. You wanted to see the Sword Art Online 2 premiere because that was something actually brand new that was being shown for the first time. It wasn't something you had already seen and then you come to the Anime Expo and see things you have already seen. This was something new. So that was pretty much your schedule, just to see like something that, is just now coming out that's actually at the Anime Expo. Most of the other stuff you've probably seen if you've come to like the Anime Expo before, then you've seen a lot of the stuff that's already there. So for those who've like come for the first time, I don't want to discourage you. I don't want you to think, oh, there's no point in me showing up. No, you should show up there because it really has a lot for you to see, and you'll have a lot of fun. Because I had fun, though that first day really, kind of killed the whole feeling. But other than that, I'm just pretty much giving you a heads up on what to expect when you show up there. Those who's on top, like I said, who's seen most of the anime that's coming out, then you know what you're doing. You just want to see like SAO 2 and and not much else. You might want to see K, like Missing Kings, but also the cosplay. You want to see the cosplay because a lot of people were showing up with the regular Magic High School uniforms, which was cool. And that, is not, that's like last season. So it's not like a summer anime, it's like last season, but you won't see that at the Anime Expo. Because like I said, they're usually like 2 seasons back. So you won't see that something like that. And you saw people with like Attack of the Titan outfits, stuff like that. That I would actually expect to see a lot more of at the Anime Expo, but you usually see older stuff. And a lot of people watch stuff that's on Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll doesn't always have all the anime. There's good anime out there that you completely miss because most people just watch Crunchyroll, so they don't know if anything is out that's great, and they just miss it. Like a Knights of Sidonia, a lot of people missed that one. It was really good. And there's M3, and there's you just gotta you gotta watch out for a lot of these anime. You can't rely solely on Crunchyroll. So let me show you what else is going on. Okay, so what I want to talk about right now is the Sword Art Online, because like I said, if you're on top of most of the anime, then you know that like on the second day of the Anime Expo, they're premiering Sword Art Online 2, which is brand new. So that's probably what you wanted to see. And I think a lot of people watch Sword Art Online. It's very popular. So I myself wanted to see it, and I had just came out of the exhibit hall, which is pretty much the bread and butter of like the Anime Expo, and I'll get into that in a bit. But the premiere wasn't gonna begin until like another few hours or something. But I wanted to actually walk over there to see like if there was some line or anything like that. I didn't want any surprises. So I walk over there, and there's only a few people. And I noticed that they weren't letting people actually just walk in there and sit. They're basically a double door behind it. We're like in the front of where they show like SAO, so you can basically walk right in there, but they weren't letting people walk in from that way, it seems. And I just looked at it like, oh, whatever. It's like it's not even like time for them to show Sword Art Online yet. It's gonna be like in a few hours, like I said. So I just wanted to step outside for a bit, sit down, and talk about all the things that I saw with my sister. And so we walk out there, and oh, what a sight we saw when we walked out there. We finally, I mean, I was happy that I walked out there because I wouldn't, I don't, I have no words for how upset I would be if I, you know, went back to just, looking at the sights of the Anime Expo, and then when the Sword Art Online uh premiere was about to show up then, and think I was gonna just walk right in there. Because when we stepped out there, lo and behold, we saw the true power, the true power of the Sword Art Online 2 line. It was so big, and everyone was on the green line, and a lot of people are asking like what is this? Like, what is this line for? And a lot of people, a lot of people is pretty shifty. Like, they were sitting there like, oh, I don't know. Like, they're just sitting in line, but they don't know. They don't know why they're in that line. They're just saying, I don't know. And you had people saying like, oh, I'm just standing in line because I don't even know what the line is for. And I'm like, who stands in a giant line for no reason just because you're curious? Like, no. So a lot of people weren't like, giving people a heads up what the line is for. They didn't want to tell anyone. I don't know why people were like that, but eventually one of the staff came out and he was like, "Oh, you guys, you're here for the SAO2? Like, you're here for Sword Art Online 2 premiere?" And people was like, "Yeah," and we're like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Well, if you're here to see Sword Art Online 2 premiere, you need to stand on this blue line." And the moment he said that, everyone shifted to the blue line. The green line was like non-existent at that point. And I was like, oh, if I had my like camera to record that shift, it was so hilarious. But no, I only recorded the aftermath. I didn't catch when everyone just moved. I wish I did. It was so funny, but the scope of this line, I mean, it was ridiculous. And basically, that whole line goes behind the Sword Art Online 2 premiere area, so everyone goes through the double doors eventually from behind. So where we were standing in the front, they weren't letting you in that way. You had to go outside to get in line. So I was so happy to know that you had to go outside to get in line. But once I saw the size of that line, I was like, screw it. Because there's no way that line is going to finish by the time Sword Art Online 2 starts. And even then, I had already seen the guy with the end of the line here, like, go in there and be like, this is the end of the line, because it was way too big. There's no way. And I was like, hey, I just looked at my sister. I was like, I'm sorry, but there is no way we're going to see this. It's just not going to happen. Let's just go home. You can go home and watch it, but the next day. But there's no way we're going to sit there and watch, the Sword Art Online premiere at the Anime Expo. And that's like the main reason that we were there. Because we looked at the schedule and there wasn't really much else that we hadn't already seen, besides what's in the exhibit hall. And a lot of stuff in the exhibit hall we've seen, and there's some new stuff, but and we always like seeing the cosplayers. It's just that was like really the main reason for a lot of people showing, as you can see with that line. And I have to show you guys this line.
Okay, for the
Look at this.
Sword Art Online 2 premiere, world premiere, you got this huge blue line, and you cannot watch it unless you stand in this huge line. And you think it's one line, it's actually like 3 or 4 lines. back to front. So now you know. You see the popular stuff? It's crazy.
And here we have the exhibit hall where you can see Lucy Keys and, you know, a lot of stuff you've probably seen, but now you can buy some of this stuff and bring it home. Especially the posters, those are pretty cool, and you can bring those home, you know. And another thing I thought was pretty cool was a flyer, which allows you to, you know, go to Japan like as a student somehow, and you basically learn like Japanese and learn how to write, do like tea ceremonies, all that stuff, and like tour like the cities and whatnot. And I think that's pretty cool because you actually see a lot, and it's like a few weeks. But I will say this: there is no way you're gonna learn Japanese in a few weeks. So seeing how they're cramming all this in a few weeks, there's no way you're gonna get anything out of it besides the touring. So for those that's interested, try it and let me know how it is. Here's some other pretty cool stuff in the exhibit hall.
Alright. Man, that's a nice Dante. Yeah, you need to be sweating. Yeah, be a sweating. It is. That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's alright. See? They are over here.
Oh, they even got the girl that cuts the dog.
Any what?
Oh, the scissors?
Yeah, they're shit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They're still on the side.
Oh, they got Supersonico.
That's his favorite.
Oh.
Supersonico. He didn't watch the anime show because he said he probably won't like her as much as he watches the show.
Okay, so you've seen the exhibit hall, which I'm going to show you a lot more. That wasn't, everything. The exhibit hall is huge, so there's a whole lot inside the exhibit hall. It's just that for those who've already been to Anime Expo before, you've probably seen what's there. It's not usually like you're not gonna find new stuff all the time. You have to really look hard because a lot of things that you see you've probably seen before, like the Lucy Keys and whatnot. But the exhibit hall really is like the bread and butter. That's where you're gonna get all your stuff. So if you want like posters and figures and weapons and guns, or you want to try to win prizes or see like your favorite anime like company like Funimation and Viz Media and Crunchyroll, and if you want to see all that or see the like latest games, because they do have an entertainment hall and they did have a lot of Smash Brother tournaments and stuff like that. So you will have fun. So I just want you to know that, like, I don't want to discourage people. I really don't want to discourage people from going because I had a bad first day. But I do hope that any of you who have never showed to the Anime Expo, please do show up. If you've been having second thoughts, then let me tell you that you should at least try it once. Just go to the Anime Expo once if you've never been. But know that exhibit hall is like the main thing, as I've been saying like over and over again. But that's where you can get most of the stuff that you're bringing home. And it closes at 6 p.m. if you didn't know, because a lot of people really didn't know about that. So now you know. So let me show you some more stuff in exhibit hall.
You need a lot of energy to get all of these distributed, okay?
Maybe I can throw them. Oh, so see, I worry that she's gonna like knock people in the face.
All right, this side's my side. You guys, my people. You are my people. Oh, let's try again. I see 2 bags. All right. Open it wide. I think it was like.
Okay, it seems like Charmy likes bags, so maybe if you like hold your bag up in the air, she'll try to make it in there.
Or I'll hit you in the face. Sorry, dude. My bad.
Also, don't hold it against us if we hit you in the face.
So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you at this this year's Anime Expo 2014. So for those of you who have never been, you gotta show up there. You know, give it a try, and you'll like what you like what they have to offer. There's a lot of things to see, a lot of anime you'll see that you didn't know about, that you can't wait to come home and then start watching those. You know, seeing the cosplayers, that's cool too, and you know, playing the new games and trying to beat other players in the tournaments, and you know, coming home with, you know, some cool posters and figurines. If you're a collector and you like to collect all the action figures and whatnot, you get those. For those who like those weapons, you know, you'll want to get those. So it's like a lot of stuff for you guys to see and get. And this pretty much concludes my trip, you know, to the Anime Expo. But I like to say this is more like not just about my trip, but a guide too, for those of you who's seen what happened to me. Now you've seen what happened to me on my first day, so hopefully that doesn't happen to you in the future. Even though the Anime Expo did send, and I'm talking about, like, you know, this year they did send like some sort of email saying that, hey, you guys think it's a good idea if we were to like mail your badges to you or something like that. And I don't know the results of that, but clearly they didn't do that because it's the same old same. So yeah, horrible experience. But I hope they do their events better, because these long lines, really, that's just not gonna cut it. You're gonna have to show some of these like premieres in multiple places, or show it more than once if that's possible. I don't know, but I mean, they can make it better. I hope it improves next year. But I hope a lot of you who's never been, like I said, I hope you guys show up and I see you, and you can tell me like, hey, I went to Anime Expo and this is what happened. You know, let me know. I'd love to hear your stories, and those who've been there, you know, those of you who've been there, let me hear your stories. I'd love to hear them. And hope you enjoyed this video. And those of you who watch my anime videos, you know, expect more of this summer first impressions. And as always, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.